So now that we've gone all through the different types of three-dimensional figures, let's go on ahead and solve for volume on all of them. So here, find the volume of the prism. Again, I can choose whatever I want to be the base. In this situation, I'm going to go on ahead and use this as my base, which would make 4. My height, my area of my base is going to be 11 times 6, which is going to equal 66. And the volume is going to be base times height, so 66 times 4. It's going to equal 264 centimeters cubed. Down here, okay, we've got a triangular prism. Again, the biggest thing with these triangular prisms is making sure that you recognize that 5 is not the height. 5 is the height of the triangle, but it is a triangle base connected to another triangle base on this side, okay, which would make 6 my height as it connects my two bases. One of the biggest mistakes that gets made, especially in triangular prisms, is that we want to say this part down here, okay, is the base and 5 is the height, and that's just not the case. We're not multiplying 4 times 6. We're going to multiply 1/2 times 5 times 4. 1/2 base times height, so 4 is the base, 5 is the height. So that's going to be 5 times 4 is 20. We divide that by 2 is 10. And then we multiply that by our height. So we have 10 times 6, which is going to be 60 centimeters cubed. For our cylinder, we have the volume of the cylinder with diameter of 8. If its diameter is 8, that means its radius is going to be 4 inches. The height is going to be 7 inches. So I know that my height is 7, the area of my base, pi r, which is 4 squared. That's going to equal 16 pi. And I'm just going to take that 16 pi, multiply that by 7. 16 times 7 gives me 112 pi. And I could leave this as my answer, 112 pi inches cubed. But I can also multiply it by pi to give me 351.86 inches cubed. Both of those would be acceptable. The one on the bottom is probably the one you're going to see more often. However, the 112 pi is the most precise version. Down here, find the volume of the square pyramid. So the height of my pyramid is going to be 9. My area of the base is going to be right here. So 10 times 10, which equals 100. And the volume is going to be the area of my base, 100, times the height, 9, divided by 3, because we are dealing with a pyramid, okay, not a prism. So we're going to take 100 times 9, divide it by 3, 300 inches cubed. Up here, we've got a cone. So with our cone, area of our base, let me go on ahead. Looks like, oh, that mark doesn't belong there. That's okay. So we have our radius, we have the height. Remember, the height does not have to go up and down. It's going to connect the base to either another base, in the case of the prism and the cylinder, or the base to the vertex opposite, in the case of a pyramid or a cone. The area of my base, pi r squared, so pi 2 squared equals 4 pi. And then to find the volume again, we have the area of our base, which is 4 pi, times our height, which is 7, all divided by 3. Because we are dealing with a cone, so it's going to be 1/3 that of the cylinder. So 4 times 7 is 28. So we have 28 pi over 3. And then if I want to work this all the way down, 28 divided by 3 times pi equals 29.32 centimeters cubed. Both of these would be acceptable. However, this is probably how you will likely see it. Then the last one, we have a sphere with a radius of 7 meters. So if the radius is 7 meters, I don't have a base because this is a sphere. My radius is 7, so I plug it into the formula. 4/3 pi r, which is 7, cubed. And I'm just going to work all the way down. 4, so let's do 7/3 first. 7 to the power of 3, 343 times 4 equals 1372. So we end up with, let's see, does that divide by? Nope. So we end up with 1372 pi over 3 meters cubed would be acceptable. However, we can take 1372, divide it by 3, and then multiply it by pi to get 1436.76 meters cubed. There are a lot of ways to do that. I can just plug in 4 pi times 7 cubed and then divide that by 3. And I would get the same thing. A lot of different ways to do that. You just got to make sure that you're good with your calculator, good with your parentheses. Don't drop any decimals or anything like that. Just be very careful with how you plug in everything as you're using your calculator.